Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw tips and tricks. I promise you this is the last one on this. I call it a two-piece box. When closed, it looks like that. When the lid's open, then the other box open. And somebody questioned how it was put together. It's a little bit confusing to some people. One, on this box, I just use a single tab, and I've since revised it to this new box. This is going to be a lot easier so a couple of people have already asked for the file. They're going to get this whole thing. I would disallow all this. I'm going to leave it on there. But this is where you want to go. And if you look, this is a little weak. So I made it a little bit stronger, a little bit more girt to that. And I used a cross section. So I'm going to go over how you put this joint together. Well, first of all, if you didn't watch the video about a cut box, you need to make a cut box. So when you cut these little pieces, they don't fall through your vector grid. And not only, even if you have, let's say you have an epilogue helix that has a small vector bed like a honeycomb, this is still going to help you because you're going to get no backsplash from the vector bed. It's going to cut and fall down. So you're going to get, so the sanding is going to be less. So, and I didn't research where you could get this glue. This is called CA glue. It's actually a star bond medium. They make a thin, a medium, and a thick. And a thin will penetrate in the wood more, and the thick won't, but the medium does. And then there's an accelerant that instantly cures the glue in just seconds. This could be any brand. I like this brand. This is a new brand. It comes with these, when you're gluing little bitty parts, it comes with these little bitty tubes that sticks on the nozzle up here, and you can just put minute little drops. If you have CA glue and it's not this type, it doesn't have that type, you could just put a little bit of a drop on a piece of wood and use a matchstick or a toothpick. So these are your main parts right in here. I didn't sand this one. This is your box. This is the side of your box, like right there. Of course, this just has one. And I put the cross because it makes it easier to put together. So you've got 5 pieces. This is an outer washer. This is an inner washer that actually acts like a bearing. And then this is the 2 parts, and then this is your hinge. So if you get my file, and you're more than welcome to ask for it, these 2 pieces interlock like that. Mine are so tight I don't even have to glue it. I actually have to tap it down a little bit. Then lay your box on the inside of the box, put a piece of blue tape, and you can see that gap right there of the hinge, because on mine it actually kind of spreads it apart. And just put you a minute little piece or a little bit of glue on the part of this joint that's going down in the box, and then set it on the blue tape, and then spray it with a accelerant or wait. If you don't buy a accelerant, you can wait, 15, 30 seconds. It'll cure on its own. But it's pretty neat to have the accelerant. So this way, it helps you get the depth, because you can put this all the way down to the bottom of the hole. And then once you turn it over, you could actually add a little bit more CA glue. But this way it helps. This is the reason I went to the cross, because it's going to help you flatten and have this piece perpendicular. So then the inner washer goes on it, which is the smaller one. Then the hinge goes around that. And then on the outside of the box, you put this bigger washer and just a minute little bit of CA glue. I mean, the least you use, the better it's going to look. And I didn't glue this, but just put a little bit of glue and let it run down there and hit it with the accelerant. Now, at this point, you could actually use wood glue and then sand it off, but you don't want any glue to get into this part right here that's going to turn. This is your turning mechanism. Much like this right here. This is what's going to turn. I kind of figured it out to get the box to close. If you look, I think the measurement was 1.76 inches. And if we move this box 1.76 inches, there it is closed. So all I had to do is figure out those two joints and to get it to, now I've revamped it from the very first box because I moved. So even every box you get, I've moved these forward. I had a little bit of trouble with when the box was open and hanging over, there was a little bit of a gap from the weight, but now I've eliminated that. So I've got a video and I'll put a link to the bottom of this video on how to make this cut box. It's so helpful, but that's the way to do it. And so you can do, I wish I would have cut out a piece of wood the size of the side. And so because you could do both of them at one time. And then you could actually do this, just make sure you're working on the outside of the box, especially on the inner part. You've got these hinges. So you want them coming out this way and the other side that way. It's really easy to put together, and the curve on this is extremely helpful. Here I actually kind of played around with drawing a picture. So this goes into that goes into that, and then this is what covers it up, keeps it from falling off, like right there. So that is bigger than this hole. And I hope that helped that person and somebody in the future. And when you want to, if you want to test, cut out a little test to make sure your pieces will go in there. And if they're not tight, just put a dab of CA glue in the middle when you glue them together. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.